Hello guys and welcome back to the world of Minecraft, where today we have got the mysterious case of the lava blade that forgets how gravity works. Most mysterious. I was just flying around, just having a look around the spawn area because I was doing a bit of exploration for future expansion of the base town, and I found this. A lava blade which shouldn't really exist. Which is most mysterious. I've got no idea why this is happening. When I first flew here I thought, oh, this is just an unloaded chunk, it should start flowing down in a second, but no. It's stuck like this forever. Maybe at some point we will make a monument to the lava that kind of really didn't like doing its job. But I think that's enough lava thing for one episode. So let's continue. Ooh, hello. Bad idea to try and transition into a nighttime fight in my spawn area. There's still a lot of stuff around. Let's quickly hop into a bed. There should still be a bed up here. No, I got rid of it. Right, the bed is down in our spawn thing. But yeah, I was looking. We were over in that direction over there. I was just looking to see how the terrain went, and there's like a birch forest behind our base, which I'm thinking of building into. However, it goes to a swamp like right afterwards, so that will probably be the end of the base. But anyway, on to today's topic. We are going to be looking at the witch farm, which I talked about last episode. So I have been over to the slime farm, which we were working on last episode, and I have picked up some slime blocks because it is churning out slime balls. I have been working on making it work. Now one side fully works and the other side I still need to put the minecarts in, and I still need to put the iron golems in, but other than that it's working a right old charm. So before we get over there is one or two things I do want to show you, mainly this bridge here. Because the old bridge, that's going to be removed. There are times when a building block is just way too much, and for this, I really had no idea how I was going to fuse it to the landscape, and it was just a bit of a weird angle. Like, I was happy with the underside, but it just I kind of wanted a bit more kind of grandeur to it, because this is going to be, eventually, the crown jewel of the Empire that we shall build in this world. So, yeah, the bridge needs to be a bit more grand. It should be, if you watch B00, he's got Tinseltown, I think. No, it's not Tinseltown. It's called something a bit more commanding than Tinseltown, but the main bridge is very much a grand affair, and you go through through farmland. So this area is very much going to be inspired by B00's entrance. So there's going to be a bridge, and there is going to be some farms in this area, though I will need to do some terraforming. I may do a micro video maybe after this, or maybe like in an episode or two, because there are a couple of big industrial projects I do want to try and mash my gears against in order to work. But that's one of them. That's one. Okay, go away. Oh goodness. Right, enough about being nibbled out by a baby zombie. So that's one of the things we're doing. Another thing we're doing is we are getting rid of this wall here. And then we're going to move it forward a bit. So it will probably be moved to about here. Over there, I've already started pulling it out, and we're actually going to change the design. We're going to make the bottom bits a bit more militaristic, because the law of the land is that it's going to be a kingdom that was built on war, but is now there is now peace in the land, and now everyone is all nice and happy together, mostly, until I think of some enemies against the state. Got some food here to put in our hotbar. So the idea is that this bit is going to be removed, and it's going to be shifted up. So about 7 blocks or so above where this walkway is, we're going to have a smaller, more decorative wall, which will A, give it a bit more height and grandeur, and B kind of like a statement towards the riches of the place. And I'll go into the design ideas I have of this area in the future. Oh, well, this tree needs to go as well, though I'll tear it down at some point. So these walls are going to go. It's going to be a much more kind of flatter but more realistic wall in its place. I probably will be taking design ideas off, not Cub Fan, one of the hermits. I was watching him stream yesterday. Wales Knight. Yeah, Wales Knight, that's the one. Because he has got an amazing castle, which I will probably take elements off. Though this gatehouse idea I've got, I am really happy with, and I don't want to change, though I may work on the portcullis. I'll probably just extend this pattern out a little bit. So we've got some little faces here. Pumpkin is temporary. I just need to work out where the lighting is going to go. We have a little murder hole up at the top. So the idea is that visitors to the state will come in, and they will be checked at this area. They'll be told to halt. If they try and run forward, they will be pelted at anyway. They will ask for their papers, please. And if everything is in order, they will be allowed to go through into the kingdom. If not, then burning hot oil will be poured upon their faces. And this way is just going to be to possibly a map room. I haven't decided whether there's going to be a map room here. And access to the non-realistic part of the base. So my storage area. This guy really wants to attack me, doesn't he? This is the second baby zombie of the video. They are getting pretty crazy at the moment. In case the game sounds might be a little bit quiet, I'm probably going to turn them up a bit for me, because as you might have noticed, the audio sounds a little bit different. That's because we are now using OBS rather than NVIDIA Gameplay, which allows me to do some various twiddly stuff. Hopefully it all works nice and dandy, because I actually had to scrap this same video, just recorded a bit longer, because I had loads of stuttering issues. Hopefully that should now all be sorted. Anyway, back onto the second thing I have to show you, which is this nice little cave here. If you remember that we terraformed this down and we put a cave entrance in there, the cave entrance is now here because it's a little bit more realistic. When you have weaknesses in the rock, they tend to work along fault lines. They don't tend to appear straight in the middle of the rock face if they are caving inwards, because water tends to flow down the cracks of rocks rather than along the open face, because they dig in, and that's how the cracks occur. don't use me for any geology revision material at all, because I am probably slaughtering my facts. But anyway, so we have this ultra-realistic crack in the wall, which is here, and I have now tried to make it a bit more atmospheric, so we've got no natural lighting in here, though it is actually, as long as it's daytime outside, fully spawn-proof. Because we've got buttons here, stairs. If we look here, F3, if we look at the skylight, we can see it's 8, and it's 8 there. And these are the 2 blocks, because past this point, all of these blocks here have been blocked spawns. Because down here, we've got gravel resting on fence posts, which don't allow spawns. We've got stairs, we've got buttons, and we have carpets. And if we hit this button here, we have the magical entrance to an elevator shaft, which I will be working on in a future video. But this will be the access to our various farms in this area, though, and I will probably be working on one of them either at the end of this video or at the beginning of the next one. I am kind of trying to hurry in this video because I am aware that I do take a while to speak. So yeah, if you notice some edits, that's probably why. So, iron farm. This is going, and we will be replacing it with a little, either single cell or double cell iron farm. I don't know exactly when that will be, but it will be shortly, because I do want to get some iron flowing, so I'm going to get rid of it. It's because I'm having a few villager teething issues, and it's a bit of an eyesore, and I've got plans for spawn anyway to allow for a passive mob farm, and I think that an Iron Titan wouldn't be beneficial. But anyway, witch farm. This is the bit that I've been waiting for. Are there any witches? I don't see any. Excellent. So I have put in the pads at the top already, and the spawning pads, to test whether it is actually a witch hut. So I've actually removed the entirety of the witch hut already, and I have put in a tube running down to the bottom, just to test that it was actually a witch hut, because hey, ocean monument. Yeah, there is an ocean monument over there. I think I might just leave it, and just leave it there as decorative, as a decoration in the background. But yeah, I wasn't certain whether this was actually a witch hut, so I did make sure that it was a witch hut before I started putting in all the redstone. So we have, I'll just run you through how this all works, and then I'm going to go off camera, build it all up, and then we'll be back. So basically, we'll be using a variation on Ilmango's design. Ilmango's design has a little bit of a design flaw which Tango Tech discovered. Tango Tech made a fix, but I have developed my own fix, because that's how redstone works. People make designs, and then you improve upon the designs, and that's how it works. I am not an inventor, I'm more of an improver type of person, so that's basically how it's gonna go. So yeah, let me explain how it works. So if you push blocks up, then when a mob is standing on it, and there's a roof block on top of it, they will drop through, provided that there's I think it's a 1 block airspace below, but it might be 2 depending on the size of the mob. I don't know exactly or precisely, but so then they will get dragged basically through the block. So what happens is these slime blocks will be extended across, and then when there is a piston, because there'll be pistons where all the slime blocks below 1 block, which is why I've put in some extra glass along the sides, they will be shunted up, and the witches which spawn along here will be pushed down, because there is no longer valid space for them to stand, so they will kind of go gunk, down to the next shelf, and then this one will fire, so glunk glunk, and then this one will fire, glunk glunk. And then they'll all fall down into this pit, where we'll be putting magma blocks, because magma blocks are basically the current industrial way of dealing with mobs in Minecraft. So, yeah, that's basically how it's going to go. And over here we've got a chest with all of the stuff that I have already collected from using this farm. So we've already got a bit of glowstone, a bit of gunpowder, and I think I moved away all the redstone. But we already have had a bit of redstone, because I've just been kind of flying around and being like, witches? Any witches around? Just flying around. Oh yeah, there's a witch. And before we so yeah, and then I've just been killing them. Just casually. And spawning before I forget. So I've measured out 124 blocks either way. So what we're gonna have to do on this side is get rid of this little spur of land up to about where this red mushroom is. That's what this stone thingamadoober is for. Up to about here, roughly. I'm not too worried if we lose a block or two. I'll probably light up this area anyway. And this island over here. Possibly this island here as well, I'm not entirely certain. So, I do have... Oh yeah, there's a chest here from when I toured. Oh yeah, there's also a cave underneath. There's a lot of stuff in this area that I've done in the past. This was just kind of an idea I had of making the witch farm self-sustainably in the island. I decided against it because it would have taken forever. But yeah, that's just some random blocks there, which I had an idea in the past, but I decided, you know what, I just want to witch farm. So yeah. Anyway, enough nattering. Okay, time for a progress update. So, one half is done, and I have just popped down here to put the magma blocks on. So let's just quickly torch up all of the magma blocks so they are lit up correctly. Because otherwise it'll be very dark down here. So, this drop should be big enough to kill the witches. Let's not bother with doing all the torches just now, because I'll probably be tearing out the magma blocks in the future. Come on, let me fly. There we go. Right, and so one half is in, which is this half. So what we have here, let's climb around to the side. So what we have is we have a hopper clock over here, which runs across the first set of pistons at the top, travels down, travels across, and then travels down again, and then travels across. So if we turn on this switch here and wait for about 30 seconds, so this line of pistons here will go up, and then let's tower up so we can get a good look at it. So these pistons here will go up first. They should go in sync. There we go. And there we go. So if there are any witches standing on this layer, at the moment I've got torches here so none should be spawning, they will be pushed down into the magma blocks at the bottom. Every 30 seconds. So what I've done is I've made a few alterations to the actual design. So we're actually going to stagger the activation. So each side only runs every minute. So let's turn this off now, because it's just for demonstration at the moment. So this side will run out of this observer, so a pulse comes out of the observer. It's then set to 2 ticks, so it doesn't spit out the blocks, and then it travels down at that observer over there into another 2 repeaters, which are also set to 2 ticks each. Actually, one might be set to 3 ticks. Let's check. No, they're both set to 2 ticks, because you need a 5 tick delay between each layer, because otherwise the witches get pushed back up into the old layer. So that's the fastest we can do it. I did check with Ilmango about the spawning, about the pistons, and apparently, if you unload the chunk while the pistons are up, it can result in duplication, which is why he doesn't want to do Tango Tech's design change. I'm gonna stick with the design change though, and because if it does become an issue, I can always add an on-off switch down at wherever we're going to have our collection and make sure to turn it off before we leave the area. That's one way of fixing it. And the other potential issue is this hopper clock, which is for the same reason. If you unload a chunk while a hopper clock is running, there is a very slim chance of the item duplicating. Now, this is a very slim chance, so I'm not too worried. And I'm not too fussed if the timer gets a little bit skewed. However, if it does become a massive issue, then what I'll do is I'll add an on-off switch down at the bottom just for the overall farm, because this clock here controls all of the pistons. So, yeah. So what I need to do next is add a leaf here, because there should be a leaf here. All the leaves here are to prevent the witches from glitching out, though these ones on the side here are more for aesthetics, so I'm going to clad the entire thing in leaves once it's done, and I'll probably carpet off a few, like this area here, though I do need to keep the furnaces here because it reduces the lag in the hopper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the other half, I'm going to clad it in the leaves, and then we'll see whether it works. And it is built. So we now have mirrored across the redstone on the left-hand side to the right-hand side, and we have also connected the hopper timer onto the right-hand side here. So you can see that repeater up there is facing into the observer, and then that cascades down the line. That repeater there is set to 2 ticks, and I have an extra block which shouldn't be there. Thank you. And also I have added in a bit of a stone trim just around the edge, because I felt that the spruce just going down straight onto the glass didn't really work, and I wanted a colour that matched the grey concrete that we have. And I felt that stone brick, it works. I might drop it down so it goes flush with the black glass, though I'm not certain yet. And also I'm kind of going down and I'm making this all kind of level, just so when we're looking down, all the water is at one level and it's nice and flat. I don't know whether I'm going to extend the black glass around the back out one, or whether I'm going to keep it like this, so because we don't really need a walkway to get around here. Like, this is just gonna run, and we don't really need to come back and check on it. But anyway, that is going to do with the witch farm for today. I have tested it. They do fall down and die, though I think next time I want to see how high I can get the the magma blocks to be before they start to live. But that will be for tomorrow, because I am getting a new microphone, and I have decided to sell this microphone, and I need to ship it out tomorrow, otherwise eBay will get very cross with me. So, and I don't want the audio quality to suddenly change halfway through. So yeah. And also I want to start doing redstone videos again, so I want the new microphone for doing that. Though, very quickly before we finish, just 2 things I want to show you. This is the way down that we currently have to the magma blocks. Though the collection chamber will go underneath this. Also, I need to collect up some tracks, which is another reason why I paused it. And something else that we need to do is we need to clean up this drop chamber. It'll probably be very simple, but I want to make the black glass even all the way around. I'll probably push up those blocks there and those blocks along those side there, so we just get a nice even thing. I'll probably give it a trim of stone bricks, and we'll figure out the pattern here when we get to it, and we'll probably add in a viewing chamber. That's one thing that needs to be done. I did have to craft up a new lot of grey terracotta. Oh, we've got a witch spawned, so we can show this farm in action. There's the witch, so if we turn it on... yeah, because it's staggered, there is a chance they'll run across the other side. I don't know whether I'm going to keep that on. It's just, it makes this redstone a lot more compact. I've also put in carpet across all of the moving parts, so hopefully there should be no spawns. So yeah, as you can see, that witch fell down and it died. You can just saw the particles flicker down the bottom. So it works, which is very good. I appear to have... Oh yeah, because I went into the nether and had a bit of a jolly in the nether. Yeah, that's basically it. I also... I've also done a couple of things which we're quickly going to go through. Firstly is this nether portal here. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. There is going to be some massive texture changes to Minecraft. I'm not 100% happy with the changes that they're doing, though they are listening to the community. For example, the birch, because birch changes are like, they suggest some birch changes and then they said no. The community said no, so now they've changed it because the birch texture was like really blurry. And the reason why I remembered it is because they're changing obsidian. So obsidian is now going to be looking a bit more like coal. And I say change. So this is the beginning of the nether tunnels that we will be putting in. I need to dig a huge amount of space though for these nether tunnels. So I'm beginning to dig them out. This nether tunnel is currently the longest one, and it is incomplete because we need more packed ice, and this is the tunnel that goes over to the packed ice biome, which the witch hut will connect onto. So yeah, that's one thing that I've been starting to do. Over here, I've begun work on item duplicating, because I don't want to make the end dimension too big. So what I'm doing is basically every time you unload chunks, and hoppers are in the chunks, there's a chance the item's duplicating, which is why I always turn off the witch farm before I leave the area. I'm trying to utilize this to get a few more shulker boxes, because we don't have the change which makes it so every shulker drops 2 shells. So I'm trying to make it so I don't have to explore huge swathes of the end dimension. Also, I've got some plans for the end dimension, which means that I can't actually use any of the end portals, that other than the one that I've used, because I have got plans which I'll get into when I start them. But in order to make the this be more reliably duplicating, if you have the hoppers running between the chunk boundaries, because of how lazy chunks and that sort of stuff works, it increases the chance that that the item will duplicate. So then you'll end up with 2 shulker shells instead of 1. I am duplicating the shulker shells because I don't want to duplicate any items that you can't farm, though I will be kind of going into that a bit more in depth when I begin duplicating some other items. Enough about that. Let's go on to the ocean monument, which is this way, because I have been doing a little bit of progress draining them, and we're just going to quickly check out the progress and then we'll call it a day there. This is going to be a fairly short video, but we did get a lot of progress done on the witch hut. So we got the witch hut working. It works. Just need to add in a collection system. So I have done this ocean monument over there. Now I have decided that this one I am going to raise out the water, and this one over here I am going to drain. So this one is going to be, because raising it will be easier than draining it, because draining I'm going to need to dig out the entire area, whereas for this one I just need to throw some sand down and it will be Gucci. So what I've already done is try not to get hit by too many guardians on the way down. Ouch. Oh, my sponge should have smelted. So, hello. Oh no, it's still smelting. So what we have done is I kind of cordoned off each area, and I don't have any ender pearls. That's a mistake. Oh yeah, they're going to be killing the squids now for a while. So I've drained out all of the all of this. It took a little while. If I go into my statistics and have a look at the mobs, where are guardians? Guardians have killed me 4 times. So I think these are the only 4 times that I've died to them. Possibly I could died one other time or twice at another point. So I died 1 or 2 times. This area was the worst to drain, and I've got random little ladders around just to help me get around the bits. I need to be careful that I don't go down into any of the sections I can't get out of, because otherwise I'll be trapped in there forever. So yeah, the next step is to knock out all of the retaining walls. Oh yeah, this bit I technically shouldn't be able to access, but for some reason the generation generated oddly. So this is the wall that the central Elder Guardian resides in, and this should all be sealed up, but for some reason the room generation bugged out a little, so we were able to just kind of go in here and drain it out. But that's all done now. It's all drained. So the next step is to knock out all the retaining walls, and then we'll just be left with the shell of the building. But that is a project for another episode, because yeah, as I say, I am getting a new microphone. I'm getting one of the old Audio-Technica 2020, which is kind of the standard these days. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I've got a few redstone videos that I need to do as well. Yeah, we got a good amount of progress done on the witch hut, which I'm happy with. And I think next episode, I'll probably try and get the tracks done. And then we're probably going to get to work. Ooh, there's a couple of things that we can work on. I'll probably decide on what we're going to work on in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and have a lovely afternoon, morning, or evening. Ta-ra!